दोस्तों, मैं एजाज खान आप सबका फिर डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम टेक्निकल यूनिवर्सिटी के इस कार्यक्रम में स्वागत करता हूँ। ये कार्यक्रम, जैसा आप जानते हैं, यूआईसी यानी यूनिवर्सिटी इंडस्ट्री इंटरफेस सेल द्वारा आयोजित किया गया है। हमारे इस प्रोग्राम सीरीज का उद्देश्य है कि आप प्लेसमेंट की तैयारी घर बैठे कर सकें। आज हमारे साथ इस प्रोग्राम के गेस्ट स्पीकर हैं रूमा भटेजा जी। रूमा जी, आई वेलकम यू टू दिस प्रोग्राम।
थैंक यू एजाज जी।
दर्शकों, मैं आपको रूमा जी के बारे में थोड़ा सा और बताऊं। रूमा is a thought leader with 18 years of experience in the field of HR delivery, transformation, people strategy, HR analytics, and capability building. She is an alumna of XLRI. She has been awarded the top HR influential leaders in India in 2017 by CHRO Asia. You can also find her articles written in Economic Times, Times of India, People Matters, and Business Manager magazines. Currently, she's working as Head People Strategy and HR Analytics. और आज का हमारा टॉपिक है हाई पोटेंशियल इंडस्ट्रीज ऑफ कोविड एरा। मैं रूमा जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि इस टॉपिक पे वो अपना इंसाइट शेयर करें। रूमा जी, द सेशन इज ओवर टू यू।
Thank you, Ejaz ji. As we all know, nowadays, we have been only hearing not so positive news all around. Whatever we read in terms of articles, blogs, newspapers, if we open the TV channels, we only can hear about the ill effect which the COVID era has brought. Certainly, it is true. However, only talking about layoffs happening across in the industry, people losing job, students not getting placement opportunity, companies winding up, startups closing down. So I thought something positive needs to be spoken about. There is a flip side of every situation. Similarly, there is a better side of every situation as well. Hence, I thought, let us speak about something nice, something good, which helps us to channelize our energy on the right direction. So I brought up the identified high potential industries of COVID era. So when I talk about high potential industries of COVID era, generally the first thing which comes in people mind is ऐसी कौन सी इंडस्ट्री है जो इस टाइम पे बहुत अच्छा कर रही है, ऐसी कौन सी कंपनीज है जहां से लोगों को निकाला नहीं जा रहा है. So exactly, that's the point. So we are going to understand few of the industry which is very commonly known to all of us. To begin with, the first industry is your healthcare industry. So when I talk about healthcare industry, what happens? We talk about medical devices, clinical trials, health insurances. All this comes under the healthcare industry. In healthcare industry, there has been a stupendous growth, especially when we talk about Indian market. In Indian market, we were $160 billion in 2017. There has been double in the numbers in the 5 years. So 160 billion US dollar 2017, say we have moved to $280 billion in 2020, and we are moving towards $372 billion in the year 2022. So that's the kind of growth potential what we can see for healthcare segment. Similarly, if you talk about PPE industry, hand sanitizer, ventilator, mask, there has been 10,000 crore revenue industry which has suddenly evolved in the Indian diaspora. Pharmaceuticals, edtech, video conferencing, e-commerce, these are all very common ones which all of us are aware of. By the way, do you know that the enrollment in edtech, in online courses, has stupendously, astronomically increased? There has been 600% jump in courses for communication skill. There has been 300% jump in courses on financial analysis skills. There has been 280% increase on courses related to business fundamentals. That means the edtech industry is growing very, very high, something positive about this COVID era. Not only in terms of online courses, we know today if we have been able to stabilize the economy, if we want to call it in that way, we are able to complete our work. We are working from home thanks to the technology part embedded into it. So there are some good stories which has also come up from the COVID era. And that's what I felt, let us highlight those good stories. One industry which is not known and is not famous is called biometric industry. So biometric industry has come up in the COVID era and has huge potential moving in, huge potential when we talk about in the forthcoming years. So what do we understand by biometric industry? I'm going to share a slide from my presentation, which will help us understand the growth, some few examples, and also what are the challenges in this particular industry. So if you see biometric, whenever we talk about biometric, we always think it's a thumb impression. So when we go to office, there's a thumb impression, which helps us in capturing the attendance of people. Or when we go to have KYCs or your Aadhaar card creation, you have your facial recognition, retinal recognition into place. These are all part of biometric industry. And in this industry, the CAGR market, in fact, the CAGR percentage is growing to 11.2, which is a very good figure in the COVID era. And this percentage basically is bringing up huge kind of technology advancements. So one of the advancement, especially what we have seen in the COVID era, is contactless access to solutions. Now imagine if you want to go to office and you have a biometric machine, you have to touch that, then only the biometric machine is going to capture your data. Once it captures your data, your attendance will be added on in the backend server. The problem with COVID is that we do not want to get into any such kind of process. And that's why biometric industry is taking its own shape. The government of India, if you see, has shut down fingerprint biometric attendance system and is in search of non-human touch contactless attendance system. In Australia, the Melbourne, the Avalon airport has already implemented that. So when you go there, you will have your facial recognition system has been activated. Your passport is being scanned. You will not have to touch anything. So the entire process, the entire system is moving towards a contactless system. Heathrow Airport is also trying a lot to get into this particular arrangement. That's one side of the coin of how you will see a development in biometrics industry. Second part is with COVID, now you have mask into the picture. So what is the facial recognition part with mask? A very interesting pedagogy to understand, a very interesting concept to understand more. Then because of that, there is related industry of textile, which is growing up. So textile industry is moving towards fashion mask market. So if you see, the changes is very different. We may not have envisioned this change a long time back. There are liveness detection technology which will be used by banks to stop any kind of fraudulent activities. Liveness detection technology is going to differentiate between a live human and a fake human. So if we want to delve details into it, I think it will take us another 3-4 hours to understand. I am just trying to give you an overview to all my students. And the last one is behavioral biometrics. We can talk about physical biometrics like, iris scan, retinal scan, facial recognition. But there are ways in which we can also capture how we move our mouse, in which angle are we moving the computer mouse. So what happens in banking, if you have an OTP which is generated, how do we know it is me who is actually accessing my portal, or my OTP is done by the authentic person? So the way I move the mouse of the computer, the angles in which I rotate the mouse will also be saved as a biometric database by different technology firms. And that's what the future beholds for us. So believe me, guys, there are many things which is happening around, many good advancements, and that's going to bring up a lot of employment channels for all the students. So do not be heartless. There are more industries which is growing up in the COVID era. And here I switch to the next one, which is not known to all of us and it's not so common as well. So again, I'm sharing my screen right now, moving on to the next one. This is called UV, which is ultraviolet, of course, all of us know, LED industry. So if you see the market growth here is 856 US million dollar. And what is this UV LED industry? All of us know that ultraviolet rays helps in killing bacteria, viruses, yeast, molds, etc. However, if you delve deep into it, there are different kind of ranges of UV. So categorized as A, B, C. A has the highest range, obviously is having a lot of health hazard. So what we are going to talk about is mostly centered around mid B and maximum for UVC range of radiation, which is being created or which is being converted into handheld devices, and it is also being converted into LED bulbs. Imagine you enter into your office premises and you get to know that last night there has been a full sanitization, contactless sanitization, which has happened due to these LED bulbs. So we switch on that entire system, which kills all the viruses and bacteria, and the office is foolproof to go and work in the next morning. Everything is happening back end at night when we are not there in the office premises. Visually, yes, it has potential, and that's what we are trying to understand. So Moscow Metro has actually implemented this for cleaning their metro railway network. There are many hospitals in US. I don't remember the names exactly, but what they're doing, they are installing such kind of processes and system into their air conditioning mechanism, HVAC mechanism. So US hospitals are using it for sanitization purpose right now. Apart from this, if you can see this slide, we can also use it in small scale industries for disinfecting groceries. So rather than using sanitizers, we can have handheld devices and we can show that with the help of the beam of light and the bacteria gets killed or the viruses get killed. Similarly, it can be used in a medium scale with conveyor belts in airports, hotels, offices, and also right now, which is on a larger scale, is being used by hospital people in clinic and OTs to sanitize. Apart from this, we can also use it in farming and other places. So it's something very interesting for you guys to do more research, understand about this industry in details, and get prepared for something similar when you want to get into the corporate world. Moving on to the third unique one is telehealth. I will not say it's as unique as the initial two because all of us know that the telehealth industry has picked up due to COVID. So from 45.5 US dollar billion USD, it is growing to 175 USD. It's a huge scope in the telehealth market or the telehealth industry, which comprises of live telehealth, when the physicians are talking to each other over calls, over web calls, where with the help of technology-enabled solutions. You have remote monitoring mechanisms, you have store and forward of medical and electronic data, due to which you will not have to carry it every time you go to the clinics or in the hospital. They already have that. They have diagnosed your problem, and then straight away the medicines are being recommended, the surgeries are being done. So that's the kind of power this telehealth industry has brought in the terms of COVID era. However, it has certain pitfalls also, and one of the major pitfall what we can see is the regulatory landscape, which does not promote telehealth to that extent. And why it does not promote? Because in India, there are issues of data privacy, there are issues of data theft. So at one time, when it is making the system far more smoother and efficient, at the other hand, it is also creating problems of data theft hacking, and it can be used for something which is not very positive. Hence, we need to take care of the security part of this technology enabled industry to a much greater extent, because it deals with criticality of lives. So these are three most important industries which I wanted to touch base upon. Apart from that, there are other industries which are coming up. Let me share one consolidated slide which can show that to you. So we have packaged food, we have cybersecurity, biodefense, esports, detergents, and firearms. So these are other potential industries which you will see are going to rise in COVID as well as in post-COVID era. In case of any question, I'll be very happy to answer that.
Thank you, Rumaji. That was a very interesting session with a lot of trends, facts, and valuable insight. इसके साथ अब हम चलते हैं अपने नेक्स्ट सेक्शन की तरफ, जो है सवाल जवाब का सेक्शन. आपका प्रेजेंटेशन देख के मेरे दिमाग में एक ये सवाल है कि इस वक्त इतनी ये जो ग्रोइंग इंडस्ट्रीज इतनी सारी आपने मुझे बताई हैं, इनके लिए वो ऐसा कौन सा सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है जो ये अभी फेस कर रही हैं या करेंगी?
If you see, there was a common thread which is a part of all this industry. एक चीज है, एक कड़ी है जो सारी इंडस्ट्री को जोड़ के रखा है, and that is technology. Now, without technology, we cannot move an inch further. But when we do not take care of technology in the right way, it also has the flip side of it. For example, अगर हम हेल्थ केयर में टेक्नोलॉजी को ऐसे यूज कर रहे हैं कि सारे रिकॉर्ड मैनेजमेंट आपका कहीं सर्वर में सेव हो रहा है, आपका डेटा, आपका मशीन, सब कुछ कनेक्टेड है, कनेक्टेड डिवाइसेस की तरफ हम जा रहे हैं. So what is happening if there is ever a hacking which comes into picture, it has the capacity to change numbers in machines, in devices. For example, you have MRI machines. So there has been a case in another country, not in India, जहाँ MRI machine जो integrated machine है, उसमें से MRI machine को हैक किया गया था, ransomware अटैक किया गया था. उसके जो टिपिकल टेक्नोलॉजी वर्ड्स आई डोंट रिमेम्बर, पर उसके नंबर्स को चेंज किया गया था. और अगर उस टाइम पे कोई पेशेंट का MRI होता, then probably they could not have saved the patient, because internally back end में they brought all those changes. So एक तरफ से integrated devices in healthcare can work wonders. It can help ease processes, make people efficient. However, if we do not take care of cyber security in that matter, it can bring devastation. That's one angle to see. Second angle जो possibility दिखती है is रिकॉर्ड्स की चोरी होने के चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं और मिसयूज के चांसेस भी होते हैं, बिकॉज अब सब कुछ क्या होता है, आपका सेव हो जाता है सर्वर में. अगेन, I have recently attended a session of Thomson Reuters, wherein what they are saying in COVID era, the jump of ransomware attacks and phishing has increased extremely high. So what people are doing, people are trying to understand the loopholes of businesses, attacking and then using it to get the not so required result out of it. So that's a big issue here. Also, if we now moving on to the another industry of biometric. When I talk about behavioral biometric, I talk about physical biometric. Basically, हमारे हर एक चीज का क्लोन बन सकता है. हमारा सारा data is being saved by using algorithm somewhere. So the power is shifting from individual to some other place. Now, if you have heard about last year, China had been successful in creating pet cloning. There is a cat which the name, and they have given a name to that cat named Garlic. So the name of the cat is Garlic. Garlic is a clone which has been created successfully by China. So it has already been started. If pet cloning has become possible. We do not know what the future beholds for us. So technology, if not used properly, can bring devastation. Similarly, what will happen in case of technology, we need to bring into a concept of ethics. Technology ethics. If you're creating something, उसका far-fetched impact क्या होगा? ये ऑपोजिट वे में क्या ह्यूमैनिटी को खत्म कर सकता है? इफ यू रिमेंबर, डार्पा ने एक बार इंसेक्ट एलाइज प्रोजेक्ट किया था काफी साल पहले, जिसमें उन्होंने जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाइड इंसेक्ट्स बनाया था, एंड जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाइड इंसेक्ट्स जब बनाया था, दैट वाज फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ क्रॉप रेजिलियंस. हाउएवर दे हैड टू स्टॉल दिस. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर ये गलत हाथों में पड़ जाता, तो जैसे अभी हम कोविड से जूझ रहे हैं, उस टाइम हम एग्रीकल्चर के आउटपुट से जूझते. इमेजिन अगर वो इंसेक्ट गलत तरीके से यूज होता, देन सारे एग्रीकल्चर क्रॉप्स एक साथ खत्म हो जाते. फॉरगेट अबाउट कोविड, इट कुड हैव ब्रॉट इन डिजास्ट्रस रिजल्ट. फूड नहीं मिलता खाने को, व्हाट कुड वी हैव डन? दैट्स द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट थिंग वी ऑल नीड टू कंसंट्रेट व्हाइल वी डेवलप टेक्नोलॉजी, टू सी बोथ द एंगल्स टुगेदर.
Romaji, these are some very valid concerns of challenges and threats which industries and people are going to face. So I'm now inviting Dr. Babita, who's the director of UIC. I would ask her to ask a question which is relevant for the students or something that students would want to know. Babita ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, Izaz sir, and I really thankful to Miss Ruma that she has given such a lot of time, and the insight which I have got today from the presentation is really very good. And definitely we have to work with technology, but with safe hands and safe behavior. So number of the questions we are receiving from the students, because as you know about the situation, so every student is really insecure, feeling insecure, have a very uncertainty in his mind. So a question which I will be really putting forward to you from the student is, what are the changes from students' perspective that you would want to highlight in the future of work? This is the question from students.
So the future of work will be very different actually, ma'am. And when we talk about future of work, one thing which strikes me straight away is that it will not be more of role based, but it will be more of competency based. So ये naukri.com basically हो जाएगा competency.com. Let me put it with the help of an example. Right now we look for business analyst, financial analyst, data analyst, but this is role based. आगे जाके what will happen that we will be looking forward for competency based, someone who knows to work on data, churn them, analyze them, try to solve problems with data. So do that student have that competency? If the student has that competency, roles will be created centered around that competency. So that's something very important and very relevant when we talk about what the future brings for the students fraternity. That's one point. Second point is we are also in a place where the gig economy is picking up. So when the gig economy is picking up, you have to develop yourself in such a way that you are not restricted to just one segment of your domain knowledge alone. Let's take my example. So I am into HR. I am taking care of people consulting. I started
जी मैं आपको इंटरप्ट कर रहा हूँ, आप थोड़ा सा गिग इकोनॉमी के बारे में थोड़ा सा एलैबोरेट करेंगी. What is gig economy?
Okay, sure. So in gig world, what is happening that one person can work at multiple places. For example, right now we work for one organization. हमारे parents ने एक ही company में सारी जिंदगी काम किया. Then came the new waves where people like us work for 5 years, 7 years, and then we move to the next organization. हमारे next generation or next level of people, they stay for 3 years and they feel 3 years बहुत होता है. 1 साल, 2 साल, 3 साल, and then they keep moving from one place to other in search of better skill set acquisition. Right now, what we are moving towards is that people will not work for one single organization. They will work for multiple organizations at the same point of time. For example, if I'm good in my digital marketing skills, I will work, maybe Ejaz sir has one company, Babita ma'am has another company, Vineet ji has another company. So I'm going to work with all of you separately with my contract for you, which is based on pure domain expertise and the delivery which we have decided. So that's the kind of generation we are moving towards. Hence, we need to develop ourselves not only into one area, but at multiple areas together. So जैसे होता है HR को टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं आना चाहिए, उसको सिर्फ HR आना चाहिए. मार्केटिंग है तो सेलिंग क्यों कर रहा है, या प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर है, then why do you want to know about selling? Everything has to be packaged together. An HR person should know about what is happening around in technology. She should know, or he should know about selling, selling the organization, creating brand out of it. So you need to not work in silos. We have to stop the process of working in silos कि ये मेरा काम है, वो तुम्हारा काम है. We have to understand every function, what is their role, and try to contribute in each of the function for a better holistic impact. And then we stay in the same job and save our job also.
So thank you so much, Madam Ruma. I think मेरे को लगता है कि सब स्टूडेंट को समझ में आया होगा कि वर्सटाइल का मतलब क्या है, डायनामिक का मतलब क्या है, और मल्टी टैलेंटेड का क्या मतलब है. And further, they have to be multitasking also, which we are doing these days. They have to follow that pattern also in the future. So thank you so much. Over to Ejaz sir.
Thank you, Dr. Babita. अब मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा मिस्टर विनीत मेहता जो डायरेक्टर हैं यूआईसी में. विनीत जी, आप कोई ऐसा सवाल जो स्टूडेंट्स के बिल्कुल मतलब का हो, आप आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू टू आस्क रूमा जी.
हाँ जी, थैंक यू सो मच रूमा जी joining us on this platform. On behalf of a student, I have one query that how to get prepared for the better jobs as compared to the previous market.
I can simplistically put it under 5 buckets rather. The first thing is whenever we look for CVs of fresher, we generally try to understand what they have done beyond academics. So when we talk about beyond academics, we want to see how many projects the person has done. Mostly I can see academic projects, but I can't see industry project. And that's a big gap, which I would want to highlight right now. So during the course, they should associate themselves with few organizations and take up as many live projects as possible. So that by the end of the 2 years program or a 4 years engineering program or a 3 years graduation program, they can come up with very vital statistics of what they have learned from those industry projects. That helps them to become job ready in future. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is that internship जो अभी चल रहा है can be physical, can be virtual, but that's something very, very important, and it should not be restricted to a month or 2 months. If possible, we should have a maybe 3 months internship, which gives them an idea on exactly how organization functions. That's very important for us to expose them to the organization with the help of internship process. Third is, please tell your students to read as much as they can. Read research papers, white papers, journals, HBR magazines. We are a research company. We know it's so much important for us to get updated of what is happening around. That's something very, very important for the students to do. Fourth is not only reading. The students of this generation has so much openings, so much avenues, plethora of things like MOOC courses, online courses, LinkedIn, Coursera, Udemy, Khan Academy, you name it. There's so many more. Ask them to do as many courses as possible, but not for namesake. They need to do it diligently. They need to upskill themselves properly, and then use and try to apply it during the life projects. So there is a backward and forward integration which is important for the students to do. And the fifth most important point, and it's something unique again, a lot of us have hobbies, we have passions, but we forget about it because we feel we have to earn a living. So हॉबीज का क्या होगा, पैशन का क्या होगा. Try to concentrate on them equally. You never know, they can become your source of living and livelihood in future. You never know, you can create a startup out of it and you can be successful in it. So these are my 5 points which I always tell the student fraternity to focus on so that they can have a bright future of their own.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing such a meaningful knowledge to the student in AKTU.
Thank you, Vineetji. Romaji, thank you. Thank you for sharing the research, which generally is not available for the students, and share it with us in a very structured way. I hope it helps the students think about their future and plan about the future. And thank you for taking out time for AKTU. On behalf of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Vinay Kumar Pathakji, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vineet Kansalji, faculty, and all the students, and especially the UIC team, I thank you for coming on the show and taking out time for us. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being a part of APTU, and we hope to continue this association in future as well. Thanks once again.
Sure.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Be safe, stay safe, be healthy.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.